All right.
So, my name is Bessie. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was just going to give a little spiel about you, but you could probably do it better than I can.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Jessie. I am actually a professional cosplayer from Shreveport, Louisiana. So I have my geek card. I have been cosplaying for about 8 years. I have won 10 consecutive Best in Show awards. But that's not what this is about. This is actually about the crisis that's currently going on right now in our country, and that is the incredible shortage of PPE. For those of you who do not know, PPE means personal protective equipment. That is the things that all of our doctors, our nurses, our first responders rely on to keep them healthy so that they continue keeping us healthy. Of course, with this virus going on, things are absolutely unprecedented. So I want to start off, number one, by telling you about what I'm doing right now, which is So You Care, S-E-W, You Care. And we are a group of seamstresses, of cosplayers, of grandmothers, of stay-at-home moms, of first-time seamstresses, and 30-year seamstresses that have all gotten together to create these homemade masks. Now, of course, obviously, a homemade mask is not exactly the same as an industrial medical grade one. But the shortage is that severe. It is so severe that a lot of these doctors and a lot of these nurses were actually having to use handkerchiefs, and a lot of people out there. We're all friends with a nurse. We're all friends with a doctor. We're friends with an EMT. And I started seeing on my Facebook them starting this movement called Get Me PPE. And they were basically saying, we don't care what it is. We're scared. We're exposed. We don't know what to do. So I want to go over the types of PPE that we are currently trying to supplement until they can get it. So this right here is a disposable N95 mask. This is what almost every doctor you've ever met, every nurse, everybody like this has. There is an extreme shortage of these. These are incredibly thin. They are only meant to be worn for one-time use, and then you throw them away. The shortage is so severe that some of these nurses and doctors are wearing these for up to 4 days. To make them last longer, they were wrapping bandanas around their faces, which is horrifying whenever you think about the reality of what's happening right now in our country. So this is what we are currently trying to help. So I'm going to go over 2 different types of masks, and then I'm going to show one with you so y'all guys can kind of see how this whole process, and if you want to get involved with this movement, you actually have the proper techniques that they're actually asking for. So the very first one that we're going to do is called a cover. So if they happen to have a mask, the mask itself goes over, and they are asking for covers, which are just 2 layers of cotton material. And they go over the mask, and I'm actually going to tie it on. I haven't tried to tie this on with my headphones on, so this is going to be interesting, I think. So they go on like this. Like we've all seen a doctor at some point in time wear. And then the cover PPE masks, which is just a 2-layer, no pocket. The 2-layer, no pocket one goes right over top. And this just extends the life of the mask that they have. Now, a lot of times they don't have these. So what they're actually asking us to do, and they're asking doctors, everybody, the CDC, everyone is asking home seamstresses to do this. If you can sew the kind that have the pocket in the back. So as you can see, there's a small pocket in the back, and they're able to take their mask or take any filter material that they can get their hands on, because right now that's what's happening, is that they have to get their hands on something. And they can slide it right on the inside here. And then now they have, once again, headphones. A filtered version of the face mask. So these are incredibly easy to do. They're incredibly easy to sew, and I am going to show y'all how you need it, how you can do it. The great thing about this is that whether you're a veteran seamstress or you're just getting involved, you can do this. There's only 4 seams. That's all you have to worry about. So we are going to start first off with cleanliness. That's going to be one of the biggest things. This is a virus. This is everywhere. You can be, we don't want to put anything into the hospitals that could possibly make anybody sick. So the very first thing that we're recommending doing is sterilizing all of your equipment. If you have Wonder Clips, which Wonder Clips are these fantastic little plastic clips. It looks like this. And you can throw them into the dishwasher in a stocking. You can sterilize them. You can spray them down with Lysol. They're not really comfortable to put in your mouth. So you're not really, worrying about sticking them in your mouth like whenever you sew, because every seamstress is guilty of it. I don't care who you are. I know. Stick them in your mouth. It happens. These, they're not comfortable in your mouth. So you're not cross-contaminating as you're pinning and everything like that. Second is your fabric prep. Before you start sewing, they're recommending that you use natural fiber material. So that's like 100% cotton, that's flannels, that's things that actually have a tighter weave, so they have less chance of anything going into your mouth whenever you're breathing. Don't use cute satins, don't use anything like that, because this isn't about being cute. This is about being safe, and that's the most important thing for this. So wash your material first, because cotton shrinks. We've all bought a t-shirt, thrown it in the dryer, go to put it back on, and all of a sudden we go, oh, well, this isn't as cute as it was. Cotton shrinks. Shrink it beforehand. So now that you've got everything prepped, everything clean, you're going to want to start with a rectangle piece. This is a piece of cardstock, 9 inches by 6 inches. This is the standard size that will fit over a normal adult mouth. Also, you're going to need a piece of elastic that is 7 inches long. Now, be careful with your elastic. Don't get a wide piece of elastic, because it's not going to fit comfortably behind your ear. We recommend using a 1/8 inch of elastic. If you don't have elastic, that's just fine, because as you saw with the standard PPE, it has ties. So you can just use bias tape. You can use anything you've got, ribbon, anything like that, for being able to do the ties. Oh, here's the elastic. So your pieces of elastic will look like that, 7 inches, easy. So next, what you're going to do is you need 3 pieces of this piece of material. And I happen to have some nice and easy cut right here. So first things first is that and I'm going to go ahead and turn you down towards my computer desk, or my sewing desk, so you can actually see what I'm doing now. Bear with me. I'm sorry. I thought I had it set to the right angle so I could just slide it. There we are. Okay. So first step is first, which is your top fabric. This is one of your pieces. You're going to take this, and you are going to need, and we're recommending using different fabric for the front and the back, just so it's a little bit easier for them to know which side goes to which. So you will take 3 pieces of your 9x6. And I actually have a little 1-inch template because it's a lot faster for me. And you're going to use this, and you're going to do a 1-inch double fold, just like that. Nice and simple. We're going to pin it there. And we're going to pin it on the other side. All right. So you see how we have a nice little pretty edge here? Now this is actually very important, because whenever they go to put the filters into the back of the mask, you don't want to get anything caught. You want it to be nice. You don't want any raw edges that could possibly fray and tear over time. So this 1-inch double fold is actually very important. And we're going to do that on 2 pieces of fabric. I just did that backwards. There we go. All right. So now we have these, and we're just going to do a straight stitch down the center of this to hold your fold in place. And whenever I'm mass producing them, I just chain them together. So in other words, I don't cut them apart for the individual pieces because it's just easier for me to keep track of them. So there you have your two inner pieces, and they are chained together. So whenever I'm actually sewing a lot of these at once, I'll cut all of my inner pieces and all my inner pockets, and I'll just zip them through constantly. Next up. So now we have those cut, our extra thread. Okay. And now we're going to take our fabric, and we're going to put the right side facing you. So you can see the print, and then we're going to take the right side of this, and starting at the top, we're going to lay them together like that, and then we're going to overlap our other one that we just made, just like that. So what we have done is very easily and quickly created a little Joey pocket on the inside. So it's nice, it's neat, it's clean, and we're going to take our elastic, and we're going to sandwich our elastic in this corner right here. And if you're doing ties, you can just use the tie right here. You'll just sandwich it in this top corner. Flip. Sandwich down here. And make sure your elastic is nice and flat because you don't want it to bend or anything like that. This elastic is a touch bit wider than what I would normally be using, but there's actually kind of a shortage of elastic right now. So I am just going with what I've got on hand. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. In between the top layer, fold it over. I'm just clipping right here on the side and doing the same thing in the bottom. So now we have our elastic sandwiched in between our Joey pocket, and this is about to get the part where it's so easy to do. All right, and just to keep everything nice and flat, that goes right there. And there we go. All right, and now we're just going to sew. Let me get down for you. And now we just sew all the way around. So whenever I do this, I like to keep my needle down for my corners. So whenever you get to the corner, I always like to do a back stitch on the elastic just because I know this is where people are going to be stretching it to pull it over their face, and I don't want it to just kind of deteriorate over time. So I always back stitch over my elastic. My elastic is actually tucked where I want it in there, so I don't accidentally sew through it. And I did that back stitch really fast. I'm sorry. I just held the button down on my machine. You just sew. Down and down. And I would just like to point out, even if you don't want to get involved in the movement sewing these for people, please do take the time to sew one for yourself, especially if you're going out in public. It's just right now there is a crisis, and right now things are very scary. So taking a little bit of extra time to protect yourself is definitely worth it. All right. And here we go. And now this is what it looks like raw. But whenever we flip it right side out, Everything is all nice and neat. All of your corners are nice and neat, and you have the pocket already done, no stress, finished edges. It looks great. So now we're going to do the final step, which is going to be top stitching. This just kind of gives it a little bit of extra durability, and it fits a lot better whenever it has the pleats in it. Now, pleating, the only thing you're going to need is a fork. So what I'm doing whenever, for the ones that I'm actually sending off, is I am using, this is what I'm making my nose fly out of. And all this is, there we go, floral wire, 22 gauge floral wire cut into a 4-inch piece with the tips rounded. Now, this is not a necessity. I do it just because if you wear glasses or anything, you'll start fogging up your glasses after a while wearing them, which is not a cute look for anyone. So this just helps get a little bit of a better look, a better fit on your face. So nobody, you're not walking around looking like, a car on a hot morning. And all we do to do this is I'm just carefully tucking it in between my seams on the top of my mask. Like so, and then I'm using my Wonder Clip to hold it in place. Now, this is the part where if you do put the wire in, it does get a touch tricky. It's not really hard. You just have to go really slow and pay attention to how your machine sews, because you do have to do a small little basic casing for it, but it's not even really a casing. It's more of just like an introduction to how to case something. All right, and then we're going to use our clips to just kind of keep our nice edges good and flat. Get out of here, thread. I don't need to. All right, and now my favorite part, which this is one of my absolute favorite sewing techniques ever. It's great for everything. If you ever need to do a pleat, you want to get your pleats nice, pretty, and perfect, take a fork, and all you have to do is turn. Fork in, turn, and you have a nice, pretty pleat every single time. Of course, whenever I'm moving my hand because I didn't have a clip ready, I adjusted my pleat. There you go. Fork in, pull, and there you have it. You have nice, pretty pleats every single time without having to worry about like making sure that, all of them are even, because it's a fork. It's not going to change size. If your fork changes sizes, you've got a lot bigger problems than, trying to sew a mask right now. And these I'm just going to actually hand pleat because I don't want to go over on the time. So there you go. Now you have your mask, the basic shape. It's starting to look like what we recognize. And for this, you're going to want to go super slow if you have the wire in. You just take a minute. And this is just to make sure you don't shatter the needle. I guess you can go slow if you just, don't care about shattering needles. I personally don't enjoy doing that, because needles hurt when they shatter. Not your body, they just hurt your soul. So there we go. And I'm just very gently stitching. There we go. And if you heard how it kind of clipped the side of it, I know that I'm a little too close now. There we go. If you've ever made a corset or anything like that, this is just a seam casing. So it's not really anything special or difficult. All right. And now we're past that, and now we're at the pleat. And whenever I sew my pleats, just in general, I always like to back stitch over my pleats just a touch, just to kind of give it a little bit of durability. We know that these masks are going to be getting taken on and put off all throughout the day. So take a little bit of extra time to just give a touch extra durability to them. And there you go. You're done. That's it. You just have to trim your threads, and that is one face mask done with an easy pocket. Quick, simple, and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust you back up to a human level.
All right, that looks awesome. So thanks for that. I know some of us, like me, were visual learners. It helps to have a video to see how to do it. I think we've got about 5 minutes. So if anybody from the lobby had a question.
Yeah, we did have a question through chat. Somebody said...
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on just a moment.
Okay.
What was your question, Ashley?
If people can wash them and reuse them.
So Ashley wanted to know if we could wash them and reuse them.
Absolutely. We recommend it. So that's actually why we did the extra step with the back stitching and the extra step with the elastic. Please wash them. Wash them, reuse them. You can obviously wash them in hot water, sterilize them. They're good to go. These are reusable until the crisis is over.
All right, thanks. Did we have anybody else from the lobby who wanted to ask a question?
Just raise your hand if you have a question.
Oh, go ahead,
Actually,
Connie.
I have a question. Hi, I just wanted to know, like, what percentage does this cut down, like, particles? Like, how effective is this, like, especially against, like, something like the coronavirus?
So the question was, how effective is it?
Okay, so these are not going to be as effective as your standard PPE. The CDC says that they are anywhere between about 50 to 70%, depending on the type of fabric and the type of material, as your standard 95 mask. Thing is, it's better than nothing. Its purpose is to stop water droplets. Its purpose is to stop things from physically entering your mouth. These are really great for people that can't control their cough, like children, like the elderly, people that physically can't maybe move fast enough, as well as just an extra layer of protection when you're out there. The problem is there's nothing. That's the problem. There isn't anything to be able to help right now, and anything is better than nothing.
All right. Did we have any? I think we've got maybe time for one more question.
This is the voice of God. I have one. Is there any shortage of materials right now? I know a lot of states have been closing down craft supply stores. So how are you guys dealing with that?
Okay, well, first off, if you have to go to a store to get material, please don't. Because obviously you need to stay home as much as possible right now. You don't need to be contaminated. As far as shortage of materials, nothing that we've really heard of. If you want to get involved, order your materials online. As soon as they come in, immediately put them in your washing machine on the hottest setting that you can and wash them. The only thing that we know of a shortage of is elastic, but that's not really necessarily a shortage as much as it's just kind of slightly inconvenient that people can't find it. But all of this information, everything that I've told y'all about, including easy tutorials, PDF files if you want to do it for yourself, the links to the CDC websites that are talking about the masks, about the efficiency of them, the WHO website, all of those links can be found on our website at www.soyoucare.com for more information on all of this stuff, from how to do it, the different types, as well as if you want to contact us and let us know, if you have more questions, we can answer them there.
And are you taking donations?
Absolutely not. We are in a crisis. And in a crisis, this is what people do. We don't, if you want to donate, find somebody locally that is sewing that you can help with, that would like help with their, with maybe getting materials or things like that. But as an organization, as a group, no, absolutely not. Just help share the word and help keep people protected.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much.